It's spring and Hayes High softball is back as the Lady Indians will get set to go in their first game of the 2024 season as they welcome in the defending 5A state champion Valley Center Hornets to the Bickle-Schmidt Sports Complex. And with that, we welcome you into today's Thursday afternoon contest along with our entire Tribe Broadcasting Network crew. I'm Hank Corsair, and Hayes High is coming off of a good winning season, winning their first WAC championship since 2011, and they are starting off this season against the team that they played last year. And for the Lady Indians, they will look to get revenge, especially because they got swept against the Hornets in a doubleheader last year, and the Hornets are currently on a 3-game winning streak in the series. And for both teams, they lost key parts from last season as Valley Center graduated 4 seniors that were all named to the All-State team. And Hayes High lost one of their top players in Ashlyn Zimmer, who was named to second-team All-WAC from last year's squad. And the Hornets and Lady Indians both returned some star players to fill those roles. For Valley Center, aside from getting off to a 4-0 start in 2 doubleheaders already, they have 4 seniors, 2 of which have committed to play college softball, and they have young talent that is highlighted by sophomore Abria Perry, who was named first-team All-Conference last year as a freshman and is one of the top prospects in the 2026 class. And for Hayes High, they returned 4 seniors, and just like Valley Center, they have 2 college softball commits as well. And they return all WAC and all-state infielder Desiree Schmidt and their top pitcher from last season, Aubrey Thomas, as well. So tonight, it's 2 teams with 2 different goals. Tonight, we'll see how Hayes High can build off of last season's results and if Valley Center can continue their dominance in Class 5A when we come back, as we will have our team rundowns and starting lineups when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Hayes High School, we are now ready for the first pitch of tonight's contest, and it will be for the Valley Center Hornets coming off a 23-2 season against number 30 Riley Dreher for the Hayes High Lady Indians. First pitch is high, and that'll start the count 1-0. Avery Davison, one of the sophomores on this year's class, got quite a bit of playing time last year and is a really good athlete as a Arkansas Valley Chisholm Trail basketball honorable mention as that next strike goes as that next ball goes for a strike. Tied in the count at 1-1. Dreher's ready, so is Davison. Pitch on the way, it's down and in the dirt, and that'll be ball 2 for Davison. Dreher, as a pitcher for Hayes High, went 4-3 last year and got 20 strikeouts in the 8 games that she played in, and that next ball is outside, and that will be 3-1 now in the count for Avery Davison. Trying to get on base and get this game started for Valley Center. We noted that they are currently 4-0 already, looking to go 5-0 and possibly 6-0 as that one's chopped over to the shortstop and gets past Desiree Schmidt into the outfield as the center fielder, Elise Zimmerman, gets it, and Davison will stop at first base. So next up now will be the sophomore Abria Perry, who we mentioned in that pregame open, won first team last year as an outfielder and as a freshman, as Riley Dreher sends the first pitch in the count, and it's right down the middle for strike 1. And Davison will stay at first base as Dreher gets ready for the pitch. Catcher for Hayes High today is Lakin Zimmerman, and it will go a little to the outside, and that will be ball 1 for Abria Perry. She led in multiple categories last season, has been a really good player for Valley Center, led in batting average and on base percentage, while also leading the team in RBIs as well with 24. 1-1 on the way is right down the middle, and Riley Dreher is up in the count with a 1-2 count. Looking to get the strikeout. Davison will stay at first base. Dreher is ready, so is Zimmerman, and so is Perry. The 1-2 on the way is right over to Schmidt. She gets the play at second base, now throws it over to first base, and it goes a little bit outside, not able to be caught by Avery Soliday. but with a fielder's choice, Avery Davison is out at first base, and that'll bring up Morgan Thatcher for the Valley Center Hornets, a member of the Kansas Shockers Summer League baseball team, and one of the 2 college signees that we noted in that in the opening of the game. She is a signee to Barton Community College, and she gets hit in the foot on her first pitch, and that'll lead runners at first and second for Valley Center, and that'll bring in number 19, Alyssa Crumless, the pitcher today for Valley Center. Looking to bring the runner, Abria Perry, who is currently in scoring position, trying to get her home. Dreher with the first pitch in the count on the way. It's a swing, and actually it's a foul tip that goes right towards us, and it'll be 0-1 in the count for Crumless. Dreher so far today has thrown 12 pitches against what's currently her 4th batter as she delivers the 0-1. It's a little bit outside, couldn't quite get it in there, and that'll make it 1-1 in the count. Crumless saw last season, picked up 4 RBIs for the Hornets, and is a teammate of Hayes High's shortstop, Desiree Schmidt, and that's who she hits it to right there, as she'll get the lead runner out at third base on a fielder's choice, but Crumless was able to advance to first base, and that'll bring up the 5th batter in the lineup, Kaylee Abasolo. Or correction, that's number 12, Kaylee Abasolo. Didn't get much time last year, but this year she comes in as a sophomore looking to fill a big role for the Hornets. Runners at first and second. It's Thatcher at second and Crumless at first. Dreher looking to retire the side, 2 outs so far. First pitch in the count on the way is a little low, and that will go for strike 1, or ball 1. Now Dreher ready, so is Abasolo. And the first pitch is, or second pitch is on the way, and this one's fouled right into the glove of Lakin Zimmerman, and that'll make it 1-1 now. The runners will stay at first and second. Dreher's ready for the pitch. She delivers the 1-1, and it's a little tad bit outside, but that will go for ball 2. Abasolo, as we mentioned, she only had 1 at-bat last season, and like we said, she'll try to fill a huge role this season for this team, and now she's up in the count 3-1, trying to get on and possibly load the bases. Again, it's Thatcher at second base, Crumless at first. The 3-1 on the way from Dreher will be chopped over to the third baseman, and she throws it over to Avery Soliday at first base and makes the play, and that will retire the side as it's 0-0 right now. The Hornets pick up no runs and get on base once, a couple times on a fielder's choice, but it's 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the first. So we'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt Sports Complex as Hayes High's defense came up big in that first inning, only giving up 1 hit against Valley Center, and Valley Center leaves 2 on base at the end of that first inning. And leading off for Hayes High will be the shortstop, number 28, Desiree Schmidt, the Dodge City Conquistador commit, with the first pitch on the way from Crumless, and it's a little low. She took a swing, and it's not there, so she'll go down in the count early, 0-1. And Crumless gets ready, and Schmidt awaits the pitch, 0-1 on the way, and she tried going for a bunt, was able to put back because it was a little high and outside, and it'll be 1-1 now, and the catcher, number 16, Addison Edwards, will go up and have a talk with Crumless. As Schmidt waits, it's currently 1-1 in the count. Schmidt, the two-time first-team all-WAC shortstop for the Lady Indians. The 1-1 is on the way, and it's popped over to that down the foul line on third base, but it falls down, so it'll still be 1-2 in the count. Crumless is ready, so is Schmidt. She's showing signs of a bunt, pulls back, and it was in. She checked it, but it was inside, so it'll be marked as a strikeout looking. And that'll bring up the junior, number 2, Danny Williford, two-sport athlete for Hayes High, was first-team all-WAC in soccer last spring. As her first pitch is on the way, it's a bunt towards that third base side. She might get there, and they'll say she's safe at first base. She got there just in time, so her first pitch of her varsity career will get her on base. And that'll bring up the pitcher at the 3 spot, Riley Dreher for Hayes High, the top player for the Indians last year, who led the team in batting average with 500 at 521, and on base percentage as well with 520. As she looks over to head coach Abby Gillen on the third base side. She's ready, and so is the pitcher. It's on the way, and it's low and outside for ball 1. Williford will stay at first base as Dreher looks over and gets the call from Gillen. She'll step up, and Crumless delivers the 1-0, and it's chopped over to the shortstop, and it's a little high, and it goes over the head of the first baseman as Dreher will try and advance to second, and Williford will stop at third base. So Hayes High's got 2 runners in scoring position with a chance to take the lead right here, and that brings up the catcher, number 16, Lakin Zimmerman. So Zimmerman, with Williford at third and Riley Dreher at second, will try and get the runners in, as the first one goes right down the middle, and she watches it, and that'll make it 0-1 in the count. There's 1 out again. It was a 5-pitch strikeout looking by Desiree Schmidt. As Zimmerman's ready for the second pitch of her at-bat, it's on the way, and it's low and outside, and it hit her in the ankle, and she'll go to first base, and that'll make the bases loaded. So now it'll be Avery Soliday with the bases loaded for Hayes High. Soliday had 6 hits last year and also had 6 RBIs, and she has a chance to get her first one right here. As there's just 1 out, bases loaded. Again, it's Williford at third, Dreher at second, Zimmerman at first. So as Crumless for the Hornets looks over to the dugout, she'll deliver the first pitch of Soliday's at-bat. It's on the way, and it goes down the middle as she watches it, and that's strike 1. Now Soliday will get her second pitch of the at-bat. That one will go down the middle. It's popped up right behind the bleachers, and it'll be the second pitch of the at-bat will go for a strike as well, as it goes into foul territory behind us. And Soliday down the count. She's showing signs of a bunt. The 0-2 on the way is fouled once again right behind us as it hits the barrier, and still 0-2 in the count. as Crumless looks to get her second strikeout of the game, trying to build off of what she had last year, as she had 8 strikeouts last year with the limited time she got as pitcher. And it gets right past the third baseman as Avery Soliday will drive in Williford. Dreher rounding third. Zimmerman will stop at second, and that's a single for Avery Soliday as she gets an RBI. So Hayes High will start off with a 2-0 lead, and that brings up Elise Zimmerman for Hayes High, getting her first varsity action right here. And we're going to get a pitcher's meeting from the catcher and the infielders, as that was the second hit that Crumless has given up today. That third one with Riley Dreher was marked as an error, as the shortstop picked it up and threw it over to first. It went over the first baseman's head. But Elise Zimmerman has a chance to make it a 2-0 lead for Hayes High. Lakin Zimmerman at second, Avery Soliday at first, and Elise Zimmerman's first pitch will go right behind us into foul territory, and it's 0-1 in the count to start it off. "15 pitches thrown so far for Crumless, and her 16th one goes in the dirt. Zimmerman looked like she was going to steal, and Soliday led off, but they returned back to where they were, and it's 1-1 now in the count. Zimmerman's ready, so is Crumless. Hayes High 2-0 lead, 1-1 on the way. Will be a hard ground ball over to the third baseman as she steps on third, and it'll be it's called safe at first base. So Elise will get there on a fielder's choice, and that will mean Lakin Zimmerman is out. So that'll bring up the left fielder and the 7th batter in the lineup for Hayes High, Katie Klein. Seeing her first varsity action right here. Pitch on the way is a bit outside, and it's 1-0 now in the count. Soliday currently at second base after getting her single that drove 2 runs in. And the second pitch for Klein is a swing and a miss, and now she's down in the count 0-2. As she takes a breath, she'll wait for the pitch from Crumless. It's on the way. It's a chopper over to the shortstop, and Soliday tried to get by it but was unable to, and that's going to retire the side. It was Avery Soliday that will be out trying to advance to third base, but it doesn't matter, as Hayes High will pick up 2 runs, and going into the top of the second inning has a 2-0 lead. So we'll be back in a moment with our second for the top of the second inning. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt after Hayes High's bottom of the first inning performance, where they picked up 2 runs on 2 hits and left 1 on base. We'll also get Valley Center picked up an error as well. As we go into the top of the second inning, it's Shaylin Boone up to bat now, as her first one is low. It's going to be marked as ball 1. Boone got limited time last year, and now as a junior, she'll look to fill her role this year, as the second pitch is on the way. It's a chopper over to the third base side, and the play is made from Summers to Soliday for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up the catcher, number 16, Addison Edwards, who's one of the 4 seniors on this year's squad. And as Dreher's ready, Edwards is as well. As the first pitch is a swing and a miss as it went right by her. So Dreher's up in the count 0-1. As Dreher is ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch, Edwards will watch it go by as it was a little high, so it's now 1-1 in the count. Edwards has had 10 at-bats so far this season, has gotten 2 hits and 2 RBIs so far. As Dreher delivers the 1-1, and it's another swing and a miss, and that'll make it 1-2 now. Dreher looking for her first strikeout of the day. Last season she got 20 of them, and now she delivers the 1-2. There's 1 out, and it's a little low, and she got it in there for her, as Edwards just watched it go by. It was a little low, but that's now 2 outs now as it started with a Shaylin Boone hard ground ball out to the third baseman, and now that'll bring up the first baseman, Kaylee Michaud. And Dreher delivers the first pitch of the at-bat. It's right down the middle, and she watched it go by, so Dreher will go up in the count 0-1. Michaud so far this season looking for her first hit. She's struck out 3 times and has been walked 2 times, as that second pitch is down for ball 1. As she gets ready for her third pitch. Dreher delivers the 1-1. It will be a little bit low, and it'll go for the second ball of the at-bat. And Michaud will, as she's tied now in the count, will swing at the second one and miss it, and it's 2-2 now in the count, as Dreher looking for her second strikeout and looking for 3 up, 3 down. Michaud's ready, and so is Dreher. 2-2 on the way, and it's down the middle, and she got her looking once again, so it is 3 up, 3 down for Riley Dreher, as the first one was a 2-pitch chopper to the third baseman, and then the next 2 she caught the next 2 looking. So Hayes High will still be up 2-0 as we go into the bottom of the second. We'll be right back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle-Schmidt, as Hayes High just completed the 3 up, 3 down on the top of the second. We go into the bottom of the second, and now it'll be the right fielder, number 1, Haley Reese, one of the seniors on this year's squad, as her first pitch is on the way. It's a little bit outside, so it'll be ball 1. So she'll start out good, and got limited time last year, and she did pick up 9 RBIs last year, so looking to build off that. Her second pitch was outside, it was inside, and it'll be ball 2. So Crumless is down in the count 2-0. Delivers the third pitch of the at-bat, and that one's outside as well, so she's down 3-0 now. Hasn't walked a batter yet, but one player has advanced, which was from a hit by a pitch, and that was Lakin Zimmerman. As Crumless will look for the first strike, 3-0 on the way, and she was able to get it outside, or get it in there, and that's the first strike of the at-bat and of the inning. It's 3-1 now. As Reese will try and do something right here. The pitch is on the way, and it was a little bit outside, so Reese will advance on a 5-pitch base on balls at bat. And Jaylee Summers will be the final batter of the rotation for Hayes High. One of the sophomores on the roster. Saw limited time, but is in the lineup this year as her first pitch is outside. And it's 1-0 now in the count. As she looks over to Gillen, who is the third base coach, to decide what she's going to do, and she's showing signs of a bunt. And we'll pull it back as the pitch is on the way, and she tried bunting at the last minute, but it gets by her, and it's 1-1 now. So Desiree Schmidt is on deck, the top of the order for Hayes High. And Jaylee Summers will try and finish out the lineup with a hit, as this will be listed as a foul ball. It was a bunt that is listed as a foul ball. It took a bounce on the plate, so that'll make the count 1-2. And Summers will try and get on base and also try and advance Haley Reese, who got on that walk just a minute ago, and it's a little down low, but she swung at it, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up the top of the order Desiree Schmidt, who struck out on her first at bat, was behind 1-2, and then after a foul ball, she struck out looking. So Schmidt looking to do something right here. Had a .438 average last season, and the first one is down, but Crumless was able to get it in the strike zone. And Schmidt's ready. Crumless is as well. 0-1 on the way. It's a line drive into left field, and it will get down and get past the left fielder as well. It's the center fielder that picks it up. Reese will stop at third base, and it's a 0-1 double for Desiree Schmidt. So 2 runners in scoring position now for Hayes High. That'll bring up the second baseman, Danny Williford. Got the first hit of the game and the first hit of her varsity career as well on the first pitch as well. So getting the signal from head coach Abby Gillen. Williford will go up as Crumless looks for her second out of the inning. It's on the way, and it's inside, and it'll be called a ball. So now Williford's ready, and Crumless is as well. 1-0 on the way, and this one's down the middle. Williford watches it go by, and it's 1-1 now in the count. Again, Hayes High leads at 2-0 with 2-0 in the bottom of the second, as Williford will get the 1-1, and it's a popper over to the second baseman as she'll make the catch, and that's the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the pitcher now, Riley Dreher. One of the first, she got on her first time on an error from the shortstop where she threw it over the head of the first baseman on the routine play. And then Dreher would score on an RBI from Avery Soliday, as this one rolls. It's a foul ball and it rolls back towards us. As Dreher will try and get something going right here. We mentioned a little bit ago, she is was the leader for Hayes High last season in batting average at .521. As the next pitch of the at-bat's on the way, it's a ground ball over to the first baseman, but it will go into foul territory, making it 0-2. As Dreher shows signs of a bunt. Batting on the left-hand side right now. She'll hit it towards the second baseman, and she'll throw it over to the first baseman, Michaud, and that'll retire the side. Hayes High doesn't get any runs that inning, but they do get a double from Desiree Schmidt, and they leave one on base. So as we go into the third inning, it's Hayes High 2, Valley Center 0. We'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt, we start the top of the third inning for Valley Center. It'll be led off by number 2, the left fielder, Alyssa Goebel, one of the seniors on this year's squad, Dodge City Community College commit, so future teammate of Desiree Schmidt. Dreher delivers the first one, and it's a line drive into center field. Zimmerman trying to run in there and make a play, but is unable to. She throws it back to Riley Dreher, and it's going to be marked as a single. So that'll bring us back to the top of the order for the Hornets. And which brings up Avery Davison. Got the first hit of the game, but after that she was out on a fielder's choice at second base, which was Desiree Schmidt making the play there. And now she hits it over to the second baseman, and it gets by her. Williford tried making a diving effort, but was unable to. And now will advance Goebel to second and Davison to first. So now it's Abria Perry, a key player for Valley Center, and the first one goes by her. She swung, and it's 0-1 in the count. Like I just said, a top player for the Hornets, the number 2 prospect in the Extra Elite 100 for the 2026 class, and her second pitch was a little bit inside, and it's 1-1 in the count right now. As Dreher gets ready to deliver the next pitch. It's a 1-1, it's on the way, and was able to get down the middle, and now Dreher looking for her third strikeout of the game as she's up in the count 1-2. Looks over at the dugout. And Dreher delivers the 1-2, and it's a little bit low and outside. And that makes it 2-2. Like we just said a second ago, Dreher looking for her second strikeout of the game. She's done really good so far, only giving up 3 hits, and the 2-2 is on the way and a little bit high, so now it's a full count for Abria Perry. Looking to get on base for the second time today. Was able to get on the first time on a fielder's choice, which was where Avery Davison got out in that first inning. As Dreher gets set, she'll deliver the pitch on the way, and it's a line drive into left field. There to make the play is Klein. She'll throw it in and find Dreher on the relay, and Goebel only advances from second to third, and Davidson from first to second. So with a full count, Perry gets her first hit of the game, and that'll bring up the 3-hitter Morgan Thatcher, the second baseman. Has gotten 6 hits so far this year, giving her a .400 batting average for the Hornets. And the first one she just watches go by for a strike. Dreher so far today has thrown 39 pitches, and her 40th will be a fly ball into left field. Trying to make the play is Klein, and she drops it, trying to make the run to get it. And Goebel will score, and all the other runners will stop at their next base as Davison goes to third, and Perry goes to second. Thatcher will get the single. And that brings up the cleanup hitter, Alyssa Crumless, as the bases are loaded for Valley Center. Crumless looking to get them home as Dreher delivers the first pitch of her at bat, and it's a little bit outside, but she swung, and that'll make it 0-1 in the count. So Dreher will now deliver the 0-2 or 0-1 pitch, and this one's a little bit lower, so 1-1 now in the count. Dreher looks over to the dugout and gets the pitch from Abby Gillen, delivers it, and a little bit high and outside, so it's now 2-1 in the count. Abasolo's on deck for Valley Center. No players leading off their bases for Valley Center, and the pitch will be low, but Crumless made the swing as it just rolled back behind her. It's 2-2 now in the count as Hayes High looks for their first out of the inning. And Dreher will try to go for her third strikeout right here. She's already caught 2 batters so far today looking, and this one's a line drive into the gap in center field and right field. It hits the wall. Davison's in, Perry's in, Thatcher will stop at third, and it's a double for Crumless. So that's the first double of the day for the Hornets. As Thatcher advanced to third on that at-bat, they'll send in number 3, Emily Freeby, to do the running for Crumless, and it's a chopper to the third baseman. This pitch right here, Abasolo is out on the 5-3 play there. That'll bring up number 5, Shaylin Boone, who had got out the same way her first at bat just there, where it was a chopper to the third baseman, threw it to the first. So there's runners at third and second for the Hornets. They lead 3-2, and this one is a high fly ball into left field, and there to make the play is Elise Zimmerman, and it's a sac fly as Morgan Thatcher will run in and give the Hornets a 4-2 advantage. So
now batting for the Hornets, catcher Addison Edwards.
It'll now be the catcher Addison Edwards up to bat. She hits it over to the shortstop. Schmidt gets it, throws it over to Soliday, and that will retire the side, but the Hornets will take a 4-2 lead, or a 4-2 lead in that inning, which started off with a single from Alyssa Goebel, and it ended with an out from the shortstop to the first baseman with Addison Edwards. So we'll be back in a moment and have our coverage of the bottom of the third inning. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt, as Valley Center took a 4-2 lead in that last inning, it will now be Lakin Zimmerman up for the Lady Indians. And her first pitch is a lot of people thought it was a ground ball, but it was actually a line drive that almost hit the ground. It's caught by the third baseman. So right away, it's 1 out for Hayes High. That'll bring up Avery Soliday, who got in the first 2 runs of this game on a 2 RBI single. And her first one is in the dirt, and she swung at it, so she's down on the count so far, 0-1. Soliday waiting for the pitch from Crumless. She delivers the 0-1. It's chopped over to the Hayes High dugout. And Soliday now down 0-2 in the count. As Crumless looks for her 3rd strikeout of the game. She's already gotten one player looking and then another swinging as Soliday fouls off another one. It's 0-2 in the count, as we just mentioned, and Soliday awaits the pitch. She's showing signs of a bunt, and it's a pop fly over to the shortstop, and she makes the routine out right there. And it's already 2 down on the first 2 batters for Hayes High, and that'll bring up the center fielder, number 19, Elise Zimmerman, playing in her first varsity game as a junior. And she'll await the first pitch. And this one is grounded over to the third base side, but goes into foul territory. She was able to get on her first at-bat on a fielder's choice on a 3-pitch at-bat. And she awaits the pitch from Crumless. And the 0-1 on the way was unable to get in there, and it's 1-1 now for Zimmerman. As the Hornets look for a 3 up, 3 down, they've already gotten Zimmerman on a line drive out, and Elise Zimmerman will hit it over to the second baseman, and that will retire the side as Hayes High goes 3 up, 3 down, starting with Lakin Zimmerman, then Avery Soliday, and Elise Zimmerman. So we'll have the top of the 4th inning when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt following the bottom of the 3rd inning where Hayes High went 3 up, 3 down. Leading off for the Hornets will be number 6, Kaylee Michaud. And on deck is Alyssa Goebel, who led off in last inning for the Hornets. They had a very successful 3rd inning where they picked up 4 runs on 5 hits and only left 1 on base. As Dreher's first one it hits the dirt before it reaches home plate, and it's 1-0 now. As Michaud struck out looking on her first at bat. She'll be looking to build off that right here. As Dreher delivers the 1-0. It's a little bit outside, but she was able to get it in the strike zone. And it's 1-1 in the count. So Dreher waits to deliver the second pitch of the at-bat. It's on the way, and it's a chopper over to Desiree Schmidt at the shortstop position. She makes the play and finds Avery Soliday for the first out of the inning. So now that'll bring up the first batter of the last inning, which is Alyssa Goebel on her, which was her first at bat of the game. She in that third inning picked up a single and would score on an RBI. And the first pitch is in there for strike one. As she gets ready for the next one, again, we'll remind you, Valley Center leads it 4-2 in the top of the fourth inning. As Dreher delivers the pitch, it's a fly ball into center field. Zimmerman makes a diving catch, and she made the catch as well. So a big start to the inning for Hayes High. They get a first out on a 3-pitch at bat, and then a diving play right there by Elise Zimmerman. So that'll bring up the first batter of the lineup, Avery Davison. Davison so far has had 2 hits on 2 at-bats. She scored on her second at-bat and then was out on a fielder's choice on her first one as she takes some practice swings. She'll step into the batter's box now as Dreher will deliver the first pitch of the at-bat. It's a little bit inside, but the umpire is going to call it a ball. And Dreher looking to do something right here. She looks for second, for a 3 up, 3 down for the second time today, and that one is called a strike. 1-1 in the count right now. The first time that happened was in the second inning where they got a grounder to the third baseman, and then Dreher would strike out the next 2 batters looking as her third pitch of this at bat is a little bit high, so it's 2-1 now, tied in the count. Davison with the highest average for the Hornets this season at .636 will pop this one over to the second baseman. Williford's right there to make the play, and it's another 3 up, 3 down for Hayes High. So we'll go into the bottom of the fourth inning. It's Valley Center 4, Hayes High 2. We'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bigel-Schmidt as we start the bottom of the fourth inning. Leading off for Hayes High, it's Katie Klein. As she gets the first pitch, she watched it go by for strike one. Got out on a field, or she got a hit in her first at-bat in the first inning, but was unable to get there as it was a fielder's choice, and she watches another one goes by. It's 0-2 now for Katie Klein. She looks for her first hit of her varsity career. 0-2 on the way. Is a little bit outside, so it's 1-2 now for the Lady Indians. As Crumless looks for her third strikeout of the day. She got the first one looking and then the next one swinging, but this is a pop-up over to the first baseman. So that's the first out of the inning for Hayes High, and that'll bring up Haley Reese, the senior walked on her first at bat and advanced to third base before
Now batting for
the inning came to a close during
Hayden
Riley Dreher's at bat, where she grounded to the second baseman and then out at the first base. So the first one a little low, but she took a swing at it and it wasn't there. So 0-1 to start it off for the right fielder senior. And this one is a swing and a miss as well. So she's down on the count 0-2. Hayes High looking for their first hit since that second inning where Desiree Schmidt doubled. As Reese will show signs of a bunt. Crumless's 0-2 pitch is on the way, and it's fouled behind towards the bleachers on the right side. And that it'll stay 0-2. As Reese looks for her first hit of the day. Like I just said, she walked in the second inning as she was the leadoff batter, and it's a swing and a miss, but this one hit the ground, and it'll be an out at first base. So that'll now bring up the final batter in the lineup for Hayes High, number 3, Jaylee Summers. The third baseman struck out swinging on her first at-bat. It was a 1-2 count, so 4 pitches on her first at-bat. As she watches that one go by, she'll start off 0-1. As Crumless will get set. Summers is ready for the pitch, and this one is fouled once again towards that Valley Center dugout. And the Hornets look for back-to-back innings where they go 3 up, 3 down. They did that last inning, starting with Lakin Zimmerman and ending with Elise Zimmerman. In this inning, they started with Katie Klein. As this one will be another swing and a miss for Jaylee Summers. That'll retire the side. So Hayes High still looking to try and take the lead back. It's 4-2, Valley Center in front as we go to the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt as we start at the top of the 5th inning with Valley Center in front 4-2. They'll bring up the sophomore, number 4, Bria Perry, as Riley Dreher delivers the first pitch, and it's a fly ball into center field. Zimmerman trying to make the play, and it'll be they're going to mark it as a home run, so right out the gate, it's now going to be a 5-2 lead for the Hornets as Bria Perry just hit it into center field. And it's a 3-run lead for the Hornets as that'll bring up the second baseman, Morgan Thatcher. And so far today, she has gotten on base on a fielder's choice in her first at bat and then singled, and she was the 4th run of the game. So as she steps into the batter's box looking to keep things rolling for Valley Center. The first pitch is on the way, a little slow and inside, and it was in there, so Dreher will start off the count 0-1. As Thatcher gets ready for the second pitch of the at-bat. Dreher delivers the 0-1. It's a chopper over to the shortstop. Schmidt's there to make the play, but she throws it a little bit outside. Soliday can't make the grab, and Thatcher will advance to second base on an error. So after hitting a home run to start the inning, the Hornets will now have someone on second base, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Alyssa Crumless. He's gotten 2 hits so far today, or just like the last batter, actually. She started off with a fielder's choice to get to first base and then hit a double in her second at-bat in the 3rd inning. Outside on that first one, it's 1-0 in the count. Again, Thatcher is at second base as Dreher gets ready to deliver the second pitch of the at-bat. It's 1-0 in the count, and it's a hard hit ball over to Desiree Schmidt as she couldn't make the play. They'll list that as a hit, so Crumless will go to first base, but Thatcher will stay at second. So that'll now bring up the right fielder, the sophomore, number 12, Kaylee Abasolo, looking for her first hit of the game. She's had the same result in her first 2 at-bats where she hit it to the third baseman and got out at first base, and this one, it's to the pitcher, and Dreher throws it over to Soliday for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up number 5, Shaylin Boone, as the umpire calls timeout. It'll be as Dreher gets ready to throw it to Shaylin Boone. She's looking for her first hit, but her last one, she was able to get an RBI on a sac fly in the 3rd inning. And the first pitch will go for a strike. It's 0-1 now in the count. As Dreher gets ready, the pitch is on the way, and low and outside for ball 1. Hayes High has gotten 1 out so far in this inning, which was the last batter, Kaylee Abasolo. Shaylin Boone looking to get on base as they have runners at second and third for the Hornets, and making the play there is Summers, but Thatcher will advance home to give the Hornets a 6-2 lead. So Shaylin Boone did get out at first base as number 3, Jaylee Summers, the third baseman, came in and made the play. Addison Edwards is now up to bat for the Hornets, and the first pitch is in there for strike 1. Dreher looking to put it into the inning. The Hornets have gotten 2 runs so far, and this one is fouled into the outfield on the right field line, and it's a 0-2 count now for the Hornets, as Hayes High can get an out here and put it into the inning. Dreher delivers the 0-2. It's low, and it's swung line drive foul near the Valley Center dugout. So Edwards staying alive, again looking for her first hit. Struck out looking on her first at bat in the 2nd inning, and then had a routine out to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. And this one is a ground ball to the third baseman, and they make the play, and that will put it into the inning, as the Hornets pick up 2 runs, which started with a home run from Abria Perry, and after that they were able to get 3 hits, and Hayes High picked up an error in that inning as well, and they leave 1 on base. So we'll have the bottom of the 5th inning when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt Sports Complex as we are approaching the end of the first half of our doubleheader today. Up to bat for Hayes High is the top of the order, Desiree Schmidt. As she watches the first one go by, she so far today has gotten a double in the second inning and then struck out on her first at-bat in the first inning. Looking to get something going right here as Hayes High trails 6-2. She tries bunting on her next at-bat, and it goes foul, so it's 0-2 now in the count. As Crumless looks to keep the defensive streak going. They haven't allowed a hit since the second inning, so as she delivers the 0-2, it'll be a line drive into foul territory near the near the Valley Center bullpen, so Schmidt will stay alive as the count's still 0-2. As Crumless gets ready. And Desiree Schmidt's ready as well. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Fourth one of the at-bat. It's a line or a fly ball that just drops over the second baseman, and Desiree Schmidt has the first hit of the inning. So it's the first hit for the that the Hornets have given up since Desiree Schmidt in that second inning where she got the double. So that'll bring up Danny Williford. 1 for 2 so far today. Got a single in that first inning and then got out on a fly ball to the second baseman in the second inning. So she awaits the pitch. It's on the way. And it's a bit outside as Schmidt led off a little bit. Showed signs like she was going to steal. She did lead Hayes High in that category last year with 13. And Williford gets ready for the second pitch of the at-bat. The pitch on the way is inside, and it's ball 2 for the Hornets. So Hayes High looking to get their first run since that first inning where Riley Dreher got in on an RBI from Avery Soliday. As Williford goes back into the batter's box, she'll show signs of a bunt, and she will bunt it, and they're going to say it's fair play, and the catcher did not think it wasn't fair play, and Williford will get there safely for the next hit of the inning, as Desiree Schmidt was able to get to third base. And now that'll bring up the pitcher at the 3 spot on the lineup, Riley Dreher. Got on an error where in the first inning where the shortstop threw it over the first baseman's head, and then she got out in the second inning on a play from the second baseman over to the first baseman. She showed signs of a bunt, and she will bunt it. It goes up to the pitcher. She's trying to make it there, and she will, and the bases are now loaded for Hayes High as Williford will advance to second base and Dreher to first. So Lakin Zimmerman will come up, 4th batter in the lineup. The catcher and the all-whack player from a year ago will try to bring the 3 on base home. Pitch on the way is outside, and it's ball 1. So she'll start. She's getting a good start to her at-bat, trying to give Hayes High their first run since the first inning. And that one's outside as well for ball 2. As Crumless gets set. Zimmerman's ready for the pitch. It's on the way, and she chops it over to the third baseman, and it's Schmidt's out at home, but the bases are loaded once again as Zimmerman gets on a fielder's choice. So it's Danny Williford at third base, Riley Dreher at second base, and Lakin Zimmerman at first base, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Avery Soliday, as Lauren Klein will come in to do the running for Lakin Zimmerman, and Avery Soliday will try to get the first runs of this inning for Hayes High. As the pitch is on the way, it's a little bit outside, but they're going to call it a ball. And Soliday will she got a single in that first inning, and then got out on a fly ball to the shortstop in the third inning. As this one is called a ball, but Danny Williford led off, and she got caught by the catcher. So that will be the second out of the inning. So Hayes High's gotten runners to third base twice and have gotten them out both times. And it's another strike for Avery Soliday. 2-1 in the count now. 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth inning against Valley Center 6, Hayes High 2. As Soliday waits for the pitch, it's on the way, and she fouls it right behind home plate, and it's 2-2 now in the count. Soliday will do a few practice swings outside the box, and now we'll go in. 2-2 in the count. Crummels' pitch is on the way, and it's a line drive to the shortstop, and she makes the catch to end the inning. So Hayes High started off by getting 3 hits, but is unable to get anybody home. So that will now go to the top of the sixth inning with Valley Center in front 6-2. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt as we get ready to start at the top of the sixth inning for the Hornets. They lead at 6-2, and we have a note that there's a pinch hitter as number 9, Brele Jones, comes in for Kaylee Michaud as a pinch hitter. The first one, she'll watch it go by for strike 1. Brele Jones got a little bit of action last season. She's a junior this year. Did not record any stats as the second pitch is on the way, a little bit low, and they'll call it ball 1. And as she gets ready for the third pitch of the at-bat, Riley Dreher still on the mound for Hayes High. As she delivers the 1-1. It's a line drive over to right field, and there to get it is Haley Reese. So it's a single to start off the inning for Kaylee Michaud. And that will bring up the last batter of the lineup for Valley Center, Alyssa Goebel, the left fielder. And she'll go up to the plate. She picked up a hit in the a base hit in the third inning, and that she swings and misses on her first one there. She scored the first run of the game for Valley Center, in which she got in on that that hit by Abria Perry. And the 0-1 on the way from Dreher is grounded over to the third baseman, throws it to Schmidt at second, but is unable to get to Soliday on the fielder's choice. So we'll go back to the top of the order now with Avery Davison for the Hornets. 2 for 3 so far today as she got a base hit on her first 2 at-bats, and then her last one was a fly ball over to the second baseman, Danny Wilford. As the pitch is on the way from Dreher, it's low and in the dirt, and it's going to get by on a pass ball from Lakin Zimmerman, and Alyssa Goebel is going to advance to third or advance to second. So it's 1-0 in the count for Avery Davison. As the shortstop awaits the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a ground ball into the gap between the second baseman and the first baseman. Rounding third is Goebel, and she'll get in safely. And it's now a 7-2 lead for the Hornets. Davison will advance to first base and stay there. And Abria Perry will go up now, as she has gotten on base all three of her at-bats so far. And the first one is fouled off to start the count 0-1. And Perry awaits her second pitch of the at-bat. Dreher delivers the 0-1, and it'll be chopped over to Danny Williford, and she bobbles it, and the runners are going to advance. So on an error, Abria Perry will get on. And that will now bring up the third batter of the lineup, Morgan Thatcher, another player who's gotten on base on all of her at-bats so far. And on deck will be the pitcher, Alyssa Crumless. So this one will be a pop-up, and Danny Williford right there in foul territory to get it. So it's she'll now throw it over to the third baseman, and it gets past, and the batters will advance, or runners will advance. So now up is Alyssa Crumless with runners in scoring position with Avery Davison at third and Abria Perry at second. Dreher gets set to put it into the inning right here. And this one a little bit high, and that'll be ball one for the Hornets. As Crumless so far today got singled in the first inning, it got a double in the third inning, and then singled in the last inning. It's now 2-0 in the count as she tries to get the two runners in scoring position home, which is Davison, who got on a single, and then Abria Perry got on that error by Danny Williford at second base. So Dreher delivers the 2-0 pitch, and it's a foul ball as it goes back behind home plate a little to the left. And it's the first strike of the at-bat for Crumless. As Dreher gets ready to deliver the fourth pitch of the at-bat. 2-1 in the count, 2 outs. And it's a ground ball to Dreher. She's trying to make the play, throws it over to Soliday. She made the catch, but she stepped off the base. And that'll be listed as an error for Hayes High. And on that play, Davison advanced home and Abria Perry to third. So it's now an 8-2 lead for the Hornets. That'll bring up Kaylee Abasolo, the number 12 right fielder, looking for her first hit of the game. There's been ground outs so far today, as the first two went to the third baseman, and the last one, which was in the last inning, went to Riley Dreher. And the first one pitch is called for a strike. As Dreher gets ready to deliver the pitch, try to put it into the inning. And this one is low and inside for the first ball of the at-bat. As Abasolo gets set. Dreher delivers the 1-1. And this one is hit back, and it hits the barrier, and it's now 1-2 in the count. As Hayes High started off this inning, they gave up a few runs, but were able to get outs from fielder's choice and then pop out foul. As this one as the next pitch is a ball for Abasolo. As she gets set for the 2-2. Dreher looks over to the dugout to decide what pitch she's going to throw. 2-2 on the way is a line drive into that gap in center field and right field. It gets down. Elise Zimmerman gets it, and the runners advances. Perry comes home. Crumless goes to second, and Abasolo will go to first. So 9-2 now. As Hayside tries to put it into the inning, it'll bring up Shaylin Boone now, looking for her first hit of the game. We did note that she had that sacrifice fly in the third inning where she hit it into the outfield and got Morgan Thatcher home. And the first pitch was fouled away. So as Boone gets ready for the next pitch, it's on the way, and it's low and in the dirt for the first ball of her at-bat. On deck is Addison Edwards. If she comes up to the plate, the Hornets will go through all 9 of their batters this inning. As Dreher gets ready, she delivers the pitch, and this one is hit as in a fly ball into right field. Right there is Reese to make the play, and she makes the play to end the inning. As the Hornets get 3 runs of that inning, and they go up 9-2. We'll have the final inning when we come back. This is Hayside Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt as we are ready to begin the final inning of the first game of today's doubleheader. It'll bring up Elise Zimmerman for Hayes High as she sticks out the bat like she's going to bunt. She pulled it back, but it's now 0-1 as it was called strike. Crumless is still on the mound for Valley Center. As she gets set, Zimmerman's ready. The 0-1 on the way is outside. It actually went behind Elise Zimmerman, but that'll be the first ball of the at-bat. It's 1-1. As Hayes High trails by 7, they're trying to come back, hoping for something big, and Elise Zimmerman in the count 1-1. Crumless will deliver the pitch, and it's outside as Zimmerman once again showed like she was going to bunt and pulled the bat back. She'll look over to the third base side and get the signal from Coach Gillen. Zimmerman's now ready. The 2-1 on the way. It's a bunt, and it goes towards the third base side, and Zimmerman can't get there in time as the third baseman, Shaylin Boone, came up and made the play, and that's the first out of the inning as the Hornets are just 2 outs away from victory. It'll be Katie Klein up to bat right now, looking for her first hit of the game, in which she got out in the first inning on a fielder's choice and then hit it towards the first baseman on her second at-bat in the 4th inning. And that on that first pitch right there, she fouls it over towards that right side. as Klein gets ready. The 0-1 on the way. It's a little bit outside, but Crumless is able to get it in there. It's 0-2 now. As she'll look for her fourth strikeout of the day. She's got 2 swinging and 1 looking so far today, and this one's fouled right behind. It took a bounce and then went behind the catcher, Addison Edwards. And now Klein trying to stay alive. The pitch on the way is swing and a miss, and that will be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the senior for the Indians, Haley Reese, as she looks towards the dugout to decide what she's going to do for this first pitch. And Crumless looking for the win. Haley Reese looking to keep the game alive for Hayes High. The pitch on the way, she shows signs of a bunt, and it's a wild pitch as it goes outside towards, or as it goes outside of where Haley Reese is batting in the right-hand batter's box. But no one was on base, so it doesn't matter, and it's 1-0 in the count. Crumless delivers the pitch. It's 1-0, and it's outside once again. This time the catcher caught it, and it's 2-0 now. Trying to keep the game alive for Hayes High. Reese looking for her first hit of the game. The only time she's gotten on today was from a walk in the second inning, and that's a strike called right there. She just watched it go by. And the Hornets just 1 out away from victory. The 2-1 on the way. It's a swing over to the second baseman, and it's right there to make the play, and that will do it for this one. So Valley Center, or correction, we go now into the 7th inning. And it's Valley Center in front 9-2. So we'll have the top of the 7th inning when we come back. It's Valley Center 9, Hayes High 2. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bigel Schmidt as we start the 7th inning, it's Addison Edwards leading it off for Valley Center, as the first one will be high and inside for ball 1. Addison Edwards so far today has not gotten a hit today. She's struck out looking in the 2nd inning, and then her next 2 at-bats were towards that left side where the first one went to the shortstop on a ground out, and then the next one to the 3rd baseman. The second pitch there was a ball, and the 3rd one on the way. She almost went around, but that'll now be the 3rd ball of the at-bat. As Edwards gets set, up in the count 3-0. Dreher delivers the pitch, and it's somewhat outside, but she was able to get in the strike zone. It's 3-1 now for the first batter of the 7th inning. Dreher gets set. Pitch on the way is a swing and a miss, as the catcher, Lakin Zimmerman, couldn't catch it, but no one was on base. So full count now as Dreher looks to get the out. She's gotten 2 strikeouts so far today, both looking. Addison Edwards actually being one of them in the second inning. And the pitch is outside, and that'll be a walk. So that'll now bring up the number 6, Kaylee Michaud. And they'll bring in a courtesy runner now for the Hornets. It's number 8, the freshman Cora Tedder. And Michaud will be back up to bat. And that one's a fly ball that she drops over the shortstop, and there to get it is Elise Zimmerman. And for the first pitch of the at-bat, she's able to get on and advance Addison Edwards to second. And that'll bring up Alyssa Goebel to finish out the lineup for the Hornets. It's 9-2 in the top of the 7th inning. As Goebel has a talk with her head coach on third base. Goebel will do some practice swings, awaiting the pitches from Riley Dreher. She'll now go into the batter's box. Pitch on the way is a attempted bunt, and they're gonna try and steal the base, and it goes over the head of the shortstop, Desiree Schmidt. But that's as far as Edwards will go. Michaud will stay at first base. So it's 0-1 in the count for Goebel to start her at bat. Pitch on the way from Dreher, and this one is a little bit outside, so it's 1-1 in the count right now. As Hayes High looks for the first out of the inning. Avery Davison at the top of the order on deck for Valley Center. Pitch on the way is low and inside, and the ball got past the catcher, Lakin Zimmerman, so Michaud will advance to second base. And that's now 2-1 in the count for Alyssa Goebel. As she waits for the pitch, Dreher delivers it, and it's a swing and a miss, and it's now 2-2 in the count. As Goebel looks for her second hit of the game. She got one on her first at bat in the third inning, and then since then it's been a fly out to center field, and she got on base as well in the sixth inning, and that was because of fielder's choice. And now it's a full count for the Hornets. As Dreher gets set, the pitch is on the way, and it's a foul ball, and it goes just behind Lakin Zimmerman. She threw off her mask trying to find it, but it'll stay 3-2, and Goebel will stay alive at the plate. Dreher gets set, trying to get the first out of the inning for Hayes High, and this one is low and outside, and they're going to try to steal home as it got past the catcher, and Addison Edwards is home. So Goebel will advance to first base, and Michaud to third on the pass ball. So that'll bring up the top of the order Avery Davison. Hayes High still looking for the first out of the seventh inning. Davison so far today has 3 hits on 4 attempts. And the first pitch is high and out of the zone for ball 1. As she gets set, it's 10-2, Valley Center in front. As the second pitch is outside for ball 2. 2-0 in the count now. As Dreher gets set, looking for the first out of this inning, and it's called a strike as it's tied in the count now, 2-1. Davison gets set, and Dreher will deliver the 2-1, and it's a pop up over to the shortstop, Desiree Schmidt, trying to find it. She does, and gets the first out of the inning. None of the runners advance, so it brings up the sophomore number 4, Abria Perry. Has had a great game so far today. Has gotten on base every attempt and has had 4 at-bats today. She got on a fielder's choice in the first inning and then has singled the next 2, but this one will be an out as she hits it over to the second baseman, Danny Williford, for the second out of the inning. Alyssa Goebel advanced, and it brought home Kaylee Michaud for the 11-2 lead for the Hornets. And now this one right down the middle as Morgan Thatcher comes up to the plate. As Thatcher gets set, she'll hit it over to the second baseman, and Danny Williford's right there. She almost dropped it, but was there to make the play, and that's going to retire the side. The Hornets in that inning picked up 2 runs on 2 hits, and now they have an 11-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel Schmidt as we start the final inning of the first game of the doubleheader. It's Jaylee Summers leading off for Hayes High, and her first one is a ball. Has struck out 2 times today swinging, looking for her first hit. And this one is a fly ball into the gap in between the center fielder and the right fielder, and she's on her second pitch. So she didn't waste any time to start off this inning, and that'll bring up the top of the order as Desiree Schmidt comes up to the plate. 2 for 3 today as she doubled in the second inning and then singled in the 5th inning. So she'll try to keep the game alive for Hayes High as they trail by 9 in this final inning. And it'll be a strike it'll be a stolen base from Jaylee Summers, and she was caught stealing as the catcher made the throw. And it's the first out of the inning as Desiree Schmidt's first pitch was marked as a strike. So it's 0-1 with 1 out to start the inning for Hayes High. As the pitch is on the way, it is high and outside for ball 1. As the Desiree Schmidt, the 2-time All-State honorable mention, gets set. The 1-1 is on the way, and it's popped up into foul territory right behind us. So 1-2 in the count now as Alyssa Crumless still at the plate, looks for her 5th strikeout of the game. And this one is a ground ball over on that first base line, and Crumless couldn't pick it up and make the play. So that'll be listed as an error. And now that'll bring up the second baseman, Danny Williford. In her first game with Hayes High, she didn't play last year. She's picked up 2 singles today and has gone 2 for 3 on her at bats. The only one that she didn't get on was with a fly ball over to the second baseman, and this one will be a fielder's choice, and it was not in time as Desiree Schmidt will advance, and Williford will get on. So that'll bring up the pitcher, Riley Dreher. Got her first hit in her last at-bat attempt where she singled in the 5th inning and eventually advanced to second base. And this one is a line drive into the gap, and it will go over the fence, and it'll be a ground rule double. So Hayes High still fighting, trying to stay alive. So that will send Desiree Schmidt home for Hayes High's first points since the 1st inning, where Riley Dreher and Danny Williford advanced home. So that Williford's at 3rd, Dreher's at 2nd, and this one is a wild pitch, and it doesn't matter. The runners will stay at their spot, and Lakin Zimmerman will start off with the ball. It's 1-0 with 1 out. As Crumless gets set, she delivers the 1-0. It's on the way, and it's a ground ball towards the shortstop. She can't make the play. It'll be listed as a hit, but that's going to get a runner home as Riley Dreher rounds 3rd and comes home, and that will have Lakin Zimmerman advance to second base, and she's safe as well. So Hayes High's gotten 3 runs to start this inning. It's 11-5. And that'll bring up the junior Avery Soliday. 1 for 3 so far today, singled in the 1st inning, and since then it's been 2 fly balls to the shortstop, as this one's fouled right away. The catcher ran after it trying to make a play, but it was called foul, and Soliday will start off down 0-1. So Hayes High has put up 3 runs in this inning, down by 6. The pitch on the way, right down the middle as Soliday watches it go by. And the Hornets look for the 2nd out of the inning. As Soliday awaits the pitch. Crumless delivers the 0-2. It's on the way, and it's a foul ball that rolled right past Coach Gillen, and it'll stay 0-2 in the count. So Avery Soliday stays alive as she awaits the 4th pitch of her at-bat, showing the signs of a bunt, and she'll swing and miss, but it hit her bat, so she stays alive. Started off the count 0-2, and since then has fouled 2 others since then. As she awaits the 5th pitch of the at-bat, shows signs of a bunt once again. As Crumless delivers the pitch, it's on the way, and it's outside, and it's the first ball of Soliday's at-bat. So Soliday trying to keep Hayes High in the game, as there's just 1 out, but they need some breathing room. So Soliday will foul another one, the 3rd one she's fouled today, at this at-bat. 2 strikes, 1 ball. As they get set, Soliday will once again show that she's going to bunt, and it's a swing and a miss, but it hit the ground. So she tried advancing, but it's an out, and that did advance Lakin Zimmerman to 3rd base. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up number 19, Elise Zimmerman, in her first game of her varsity career. She's gotten on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning, and then has grounded out on her last 2, so she's 0 for 2 today. And that one was a foul ball, so strike. It'll be listed as strike 1 to start. And Crumless will wait and deliver the pitch, and It's outside for ball one. Again, 2 outs. Lakin Zimmerman at third base for Hayes High. And as Zimmerman gets set, she awaits the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a pop-up over to the shortstop, and she'll make the catch. It's number 13, Avery Davison, that makes the catch to end the inning. And that will be the end of the game. So Hayes High got offense going in that final inning, but was unable to come up big, and they fall by a score of 11-5 in the first half of the doubleheader. So we'll have a short post-game show and then have starting lineups for the second game of the doubleheader when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt as Hayes High falls in the first half of the doubleheader today to Valley Center by a score of 11-5. We'll start off the post-game show by recapping the scoring in the game. The Hornets started out by getting Avery Davison and Abria Perry actually getting their first 4 batters on base, but fielder's choice would cost them throughout that inning, and then Kaylee Abasola would come up as the 5th batter in that first inning and get out on a ground ball from the third baseman to first. And then Hayes High would score the first runs of the game after Desiree Schmidt struck out at first, and then Danny Williford got on a single, and Riley Dreher on an error by the shortstop. Lakin Zimmerman would get on and after being hit by a pitch, and then Avery Soliday would get 2 RBIs as she got Williford and Dreher in, and then the last 2 batters for Hayes High in that first inning would get out on a fielder's choice. And going into the top of the second, Hayes High would send 3 up, 3 down, starting with Shaylin Boone grounding out to the third baseman, and then Dreher striking out the next 2 batters. And Hayes High would struggle to get things going after that, as they were able to advance runners to third and second, was Haley Reese getting on a walk and Desiree Schmidt getting on a double. But then the last 2 batters in that inning would get out, and that would open things up for the Hornets, as Alyssa Goebel would start off with a single, and then a few more singles would follow as Alyssa Goebel got in, and Avery Davison would tie it up, and then Abrea Perry and Morgan Thatcher, after getting singles, would come in as well after Alyssa Crumless would hit a double. And then the final 3 outs of that third inning for the Hornets would come from Kaylee Abasolo, Shaylin Boone, and Addison Edwards. Hayes High in the 4th inning would go 3 up, 3 down. Or in the 3rd inning and the 4th inning, Hayes High would go 3 up, 3 down, in which they were all either a ground out or a fly ball in the infield, except for Jaylee Summers striking out, swinging in that 4th inning. And in the 4th inning for the Hornets, they would go 3 up, 3 down as well and open things up once again in the 5th inning, as they would start off with Abrea Perry hitting a home run to go up 5-2, and Morgan Thatcher would get a single and would eventually get in after Alyssa Crumless got a hit. And at the end of the 5th inning, the score was Valley Center 6, Hayes High 2. And in the bottom of the second, Hayes High would finally start to get some things going as the first 3 batters got hits, but Desiree Schmidt would get out on a fielder's choice eventually, which would lead to Lakin Zimmerman getting on base and getting the bases loaded again. And then Danny Williford would get caught picking off third. And finally, Avery Soliday would fly out to the shortstop. And as we went into the 6th inning, the Hornets opened things up again with a pinch hitter, Brele Jones, coming in the top of the 6th inning and getting a single. And then after that, they'd have a fielder's choice and another base hit from Avery Davison to go up 7-2. And Avery Davison would eventually get in, and Abrea Perry scored once again after getting on base from an error from Williford on second base, and Williford would make up for it with a foul catch out, and the Lady Indians would get the last batter, Shaylin Boone, on a fly ball to right field. And then in the 6th inning, Hayes High would go up 3 up, 3 down once again. And finally for the Hornets in the 7th inning, it started with a walk for Addison Edwards, and they would score. They would get her in after Kayla Michaud came back in after getting a single, and some passed balls would eventually get Kaylee Michaud in to give Valley Center the 11-2 lead as we went into the bottom of the 7th. And finally, Hayes High would start to get things going. Jaylee Summers started with a single, but would eventually get caught stealing. But Desiree Schmidt would get on base after an error by the pitcher, Alyssa Crumless, and Danny Williford would get on fielder's choice, and Riley Dreher would hit a ground rule double into the outfield. and she eventually would get in by Lakin Zimmerman hitting a double, and all those batters got in, so it became 11-5. And after that, it was Avery Soliday striking out after fouling a bunch of times to stay alive, and Elise Zimmerman would fly out to the shortstop, and the Hornets would emerge victorious by a score of 11-5. So now we'll take a look at the final individual and team numbers. So for Valley Center, Avery Davison would have 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 RBI. Brea Perry finished with 3 runs and 2 hits as well, while also getting 2 RBIs. Morgan Thatcher would get 2 runs, and Alyssa Crumless would get 2 hits, in which she would also get 2 RBIs along with it. Kaylee Abasolo finished with a hit and an RBI, and Shaylin Boone would get 2 RBIs as she grounded out once and then had that sac fly. And Kaylee Michaud finished with a run and a hit, and Breeley Jones had a hit as well. And finally, Alyssa Goebel finished with 2 runs and a hit. And finally, and now looking over at Hayes High, Desiree Schmidt would get 1 run on 3 hits, and then Danny Wilford had 2 runs on 2 hits. Riley Dreher would get an RBI while picking up 2 hits and 2 runs. And Lakin Zimmerman had 1 hit and 2 RBIs, and so did Avery Soliday. And finally, Jaylee Summers finished with 1 hit. And finally, we look at the winning and losing pitcher for today's game. The winner is Alyssa Crumless, finishing after pitching an entire game, 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, and also just 1 walk and 6 strikeouts, and 101 pitches altogether. And Riley Dreher will be the losing pitcher, having 10 hits and 11 runs, 5 of which were earned, and 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, and she threw 113 pitches today. So when we come back, we'll have our coverage of the second half of our doubleheader. We'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt as we are ready to start the second half of our doubleheader. It'll be starting out for Valley Center will be the number 13 Avery Davison, the shortstop, and it'll be in. The first pitch is in there for strike one. And as Summers gets set, first time pitching in her career, and it will be a line drive into center field. And right there to get it is number 19, Elise Zimmerman, for the first out of the game. And that will bring up number 4 for the Hornets, Abria Perry.
Now batting for the Hornets, number 4, Abria
Had a great
Perry.
game in that first half of the doubleheader, and what to get another spark going in this one as it's fouled down the first base line. Avery Soliday made the play, but it'll be 0-1 in the count. Summers gets set to deliver the pitch. Again, we just said it's her first time pitching in her varsity career today. She delivers, and it's a line drive, and making the catch is number 30, Riley Dreher, on the third base line. So right away, it's 2 outs so far for the Hornets.
Now batting for Valley Center,
And that'll
number 10,
bring up
Thatcher.
number 10, Morgan Thatcher. As she gets set, the pitch from Summers is on the way, and it's a little bit inside for ball 1. Summers gets ready, she walks up, waits, delivers the pitch, and low and a tad bit outside for ball 2. Thatcher in that first game had 2 runs and is looking to keep the day rolling right here as this one's low and inside. 3-0 now in the count for Jaylee Summers against Morgan Thatcher. Trying to avoid getting a runner on base. It'll be in there for strike 1. First 2 batters were both flyouts as Avery Davison started with that fly ball into center field, and then Abria Perry would go line drive down the third base line, and Riley Dreher made the catch. Summers will throw it, and it's a chopper right back to her, and she makes the play to retire the side. So it's 3 up, 3 down to start the game for the Hornets, and we'll have Hayes High's turn at the plate when we come back for the bottom of the first inning. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt, following the top of the first inning, we now go into the bottom of the first as Desiree Schmidt leads it off for Hayes High against number 12 for the Hornets, Kaylee Abasolo. Only saw action last season where she pitched 2 innings, as the first one is fouled behind home plate. Desiree in that first game had 3 hits, and now this one she gets right past the shortstop, and she's on to start this one for Hayes High. And that will bring up now number 2, Danny Williford. She looks towards Coach Gillen.
Now batting for the Indians, number 2, Danny Williford.
Williford will now step into the batter's box. Desiree on first base after fouling to start. And this one is a bunt by Williford as it goes towards to the pitcher, and it's picked up and thrown to the second baseman at first base. So Desiree was able to advance, but it'll be the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Hayes High, number 30.
I will now bring up the pitcher from last game, number 30, Riley Dreher. We mentioned earlier Hayes High's leader in batting average and on-base percentage from last season, and RBIs as well, as the first one is in the dirt and outside for ball 1. Dreher's playing third base today. And she waits for the pitch. It's on the way. And this one is a fly ball into left field, and the catch is made by number 2 of the Hornets, Alyssa Goebel. So Hayes High got a runner on, but now there's 2 outs, and that brings up number 16, Lakin Zimmerman.
For the Indians, number 16, Lakin Zimmerman.
As she waits for the first pitch, it's a line drive, and it gets over the shortstop's head, and that's going to make Desiree Schmidt round third and come home. Zimmerman will try to advance to second, and she's out. But Desiree Schmidt was able to get home, and that will retire the side. As Hayes High will score 1 run in that inning on 2 hits. And we'll go to the second inning with Hayes High in front. So we'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel-Schmidt as we get set to start the second inning. It's 1-0 Hayes High in front, and leading off of the inning for the Hornets is Alyssa Crumless, the pitcher in last game, wearing number 19. The first one is low and inside for ball 1. Had a big game last game where she picked up 2 RBIs, and as a pitcher, struck out 6 batters and threw 101 pitches while pitching the entire game. As Summers gets set, she delivers the 1-0, and it's high and outside, so 2-0 now in the count for the Hornets. Summers gets ready, comes back to the mound, delivers the pitch, and it's high, and it gets past the catcher, number 16, Lakin Zimmerman. 3-0 count now. Hayes High has not put anybody on base yet so far. Went 3 up, 3 down in that first inning. As they wait for the pitch, it's on the way, and it is just outside for ball 4. And that'll be Alyssa Crumless will be the first player for Valley Center to get on base in this one. And that will now bring up number 12, Kaylee Abasolo. the sophomore who is the pitcher for today's game. It's a little bit high, and the first one is a ball. So she'll come back in, waiting for the pitch. Summers is looking for her first strikeout. As the pitch is on the way, it's popped up way behind towards the. It actually goes over the bleachers here, and it's now 1-1. Kaylee Abasolo so far will now hit a fly ball into center field. Running back to get it is Elise Zimmerman, and that will be a home run. Elise Zimmerman tried making the effort to go get it, but that will now put the Hornets in front 2-1. And now up to bat for Valley Center will be number 5, Shaylin Boone.
Now batting for Valley Center, number 5, Shaylin Boone.
She picked up 2 RBIs in that first game, where she got 1 off of a sacrifice fly, and then now her second pitch is, or first pitch is fouled away. And Summers will look towards the dugout to decide what pitch he's going to throw. It's 2-1 Valley Center in front. The pitch on the way is a little bit outside, and that's going to be the first ball of the game. Boone is ready, so is Summers. Looking for the first out of this inning. It's on the way, and it's a little bit high, and it's now 2-1 in the count. As Summers looks to the dugout, she waits, gets set, pitch on the way, is fouled right behind us, and it's now 2-2 in the count. As she'll try to get the first out of the inning. Started with a 4-0 walk by Alyssa Crumless and then a home run by Kaylee Abasolo, which has given Valley Center a 2-1 lead. As the pitch is on the way, it's a little bit low, and that'll make it a full count at 3-2. As Boone tries to get on base and keep the rally going before they get the first out. As this one is fouled towards the Hayes High dugout on a chopper, and Boone stays alive. She'll step back into the batter's box, waiting. She waits for the pitch. Summers delivers it, and it's low and in the dirt, and it's another walk for the Hornets, and that's going to bring up now number 16, Addison Edwards, one of the seniors on this squad.
For Valley Center, the catcher, Addie Edwards.
As she waits the pitch from Summers, it's on the way, and it's a line drive over towards Williford. She gets it and is able to throw it to Soliday in time, as Boone will advance to second. Edwards will be out at first on a 4-3 play, and that brings up
Now batting for Valley Center, number 9.
it brings up number 9 now, Braylee Jones. As the first pitch is high, it'll be ball 1. Again, Hayes High still looking for the first out of this inning, or Hayes High just got the first, correction, Hayes High just got the first out of this inning. As Braylee Jones up in the count 1-0. Pitch is on the way, and it's fouled right behind us. And that'll make it 1-1 in the count. on deck for the Hornets is number 2, Alyssa Goebel. And then they'll return back to the top of their lineup with Avery Davison. As Summers delivers the pitch, it will be a hard ground ball up past the second baseman, and it'll be the center fielder Zimmerman that gets it. And coming home is Boone, and it's a double for Braley Jones. So that will bring up number 2, Alyssa Goebel, as the last batter of this inning. It's 3-1, Hornets in front in the top of the second inning. Goebel awaits the first pitch of her at bat, and this one is fouled as it goes in the ground and rolls back. 0-1 in the count, 1 out. It's 3-1, Hornets in front. They've gotten out to a great start this inning where they walked the first batter, and then a home run by Kaylee Abasolo gave them their first lead. And Shaylin Boone would eventually get home on that Braley Jones double, and this one hits the dirt. Jones looked like she was going to steal, but she'll stay back, and it's now 2-1 in the count. Goebel steps into the batter's box, waiting. Summers looks at her wrist to decide what pitch she's going to throw, and this one will get past the catcher Zimmerman, and Braley Jones will now advance to third base, and it's a 3-1 in the count for Goebel. On the way. Summers will get it down the middle. Or correction, it's actually 2-2 now. 1 out so far. It was the ground ball from Addison Edwards to the second baseman. As they await the pitch, it's on the way, and it's a foul ball right behind home plate. 2-2 the count. Hornets lead 3-1. Summers looking to get the strikeout right here, which would be the first one of her high school career. And this one is fouled towards the Hayes High dugout once again. Alyssa Goebel staying alive as Hayes High looks for the first out of this inning, or second out of this inning, excuse me. Two and two the count. Summers will deliver the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, swinging, and that's the second out of the inning. The first strikeout of Jaylee Summers' career as a pitcher, and that will bring us back to the top of the order with Valley Center. Avery Davison, the shortstop, back up. Fly out to the center fielder on her first at bat in that first inning where the Hornets went 3 up, 3 down. And this one on the way will be a chopper to the shortstop. It gets past Desiree Schmidt, and that will bring another runner home. It's Braley Jones, and Davison will stop at first base. So that will bring up, once again, the sophomore Bria Perry. After that single, it's 4-1. Valley Center in front. They've gotten all 4 of their runs in this inning. As they get set, the pitch is on the way, and it's a bunt by Perry, but it goes foul. So it starts the count off 0-1 as Hayes High tries to put it into the inning, which they've given up 4 runs on 3 hits so far. Summers deciding what pitch he's going to throw. It's on the way, and it's high and inside for ball 1. Perry steps back into the box. The EIS top 100 prospect for the class of 2026. The pitch on the way, and it gets past the catcher, and Davison will advance to second. So Summers will. The count's now 2-1 as Summers tries to get the out and put this inning away as this one is in the dirt. Davison made it like she was going to steal, but she returns back to second base. It's 3-1 in the count now. 4-1 Valley Center in front here in the top of the second inning. The pitch is on the way, and it's gets past the catcher once again, but it's going to be a walk, and that will advance Davison to third base. So the Hornets go through their entire lineup in the second inning as Morgan Thatcher will be the final one. They started as she's the third batter in the lineup, and they started with number 19, Alyssa Crumless, who is the fourth batter in Valley Center's lineup. Thatcher, the second baseman, will now step into the batter's box. And it'll be down in the dirt. It'll get past the catcher once again as Avery Davison will score and give the Hornets a 5-1 lead. And Abrea Perry will advance to third base, so Thatcher ahead in the count 1-0, and we're going to get a timeout from head coach Abby Gillen as she'll come out to meet with Summers. And we'll take a break real fast as they have a mound meeting. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt following the mound meeting between Hayes High head coach Abby Gillen and the pitcher Jaylee Summers. It's Morgan Thatcher at the plate for Valley Center, 1-0. And now 2-0 as the pitch goes by. She just watched it. Right now for the Hornets, they have Abrea Perry at third and Thatcher at the plate. The pitch on the way is a fly ball into center field, and this one is gone. So the second home run of this inning for Valley Center, as that will now give them a 7-1 lead as Abrea Perry comes home and Morgan Thatcher makes it a 7-1 lead. So that will bring up the batter that Valley Center started with this inning, number 19, Alyssa Crumless, walked and then got home on a home run from Kaylee Abasolo. Crumless will await the pitch from Summers. Got the 2 outs early on in the inning, but since then the Hornets have gotten 2 singles and then they had that home run. And now it's a fly ball into the gap in center field and right field as it hits the wall. Crumless will round first. Elise Zimmerman will throw it in, and it's a double for the Hornets as that will bring up Kaylee Abasolo, who hit the home run earlier in the inning to give Valley Center a 2-1 lead. 7-1 here in the second inning. Abasolo awaits the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a little bit outside for ball 1. Crumless is at second base. On deck is Shaylin Boone, the third baseman, as Summers will deliver the 1-0. It's high once again. It's now 2-0 in the count, as it's Valley Center 7, Hayes High 1. Abasolo in that first game had 1 hit and an RBI as well, and this one will be a little bit high, and it's now ball 3. So 3-0 in the count, runner in scoring position, and they're trying to put another one on base. Pitch on the way, 3-0, and it's in there for the first strike of the at-bat. So 3-1 now, as Kaylee Abasolo will try to recreate what she did on her first at-bat this inning, where she hit that home run, and the pitch is on the way, and just a tad bit outside, it's going to be another walk. So that will bring up the third baseman, Shaylin Boone, who walked in on her first at-bat and would get home on that Braley Jones single. And now we're going to get a pitching change for Hayes High, as Riley Dreher will return back to the mound. Reminder, in that first game, she would finish by giving up 10 hits, 5 earned runs, and she also had 2 strikeouts as well. She switches places with number 3, Jaylee Summers. So Summers is now at third base. Riley Dreher is at the mound, trying to put an end to the inning.
Now batting for the Hornets, number 5, Shaylin Boone.
So batting now for the Hornets is number 5, Shaylin Boone, who, like I just said a second ago, walked in that second inning, or walked earlier in this inning, and would eventually get home on the Braley Jones double. And the first pitch will get past the catcher, Lakin Zimmerman, and Alyssa Crumless will advance to third, Kaylee Abasolo to second. So Addison Edwards is on deck, and Braley Jones is in the hole for the Hornets. Got a timeout, not quite sure what's happening. Looks like Alyssa Crumless had something happen, as the trainer for Hayes High is on the field right now, trying to take a look at it. They'll send in a courtesy runner, number 6, for the Hornets, Kaylee Michaud, who is not in the lineup for this game. So we'll hope Alyssa Crumless is okay, as she gets a little bit of help from the trainer, but is mostly able to walk off by her own strength. But as we return to the action, it's 1-0 now for Shaylin Boone, as the Hornets have gone on a 2-out rally. Hayes High trying to put an end to the inning, in which the Hornets have put up 7 runs. So Shaylin Boone will await the pitch. It's on the way, and it's high, and it'll be ball 2 for Shaylin Boone. Trying to get Michaud and Abasolo home. The pitch is on the way, and it'll be a fly ball into the gap and right in center field, and it takes a bounce again, as Boone will get to second base on a double and drive in those last 2 runners. So it's a 9-1 lead for the Hornets now, as Shaylin Boone advances on the double. Addison Edwards will return to the plate after she grounded out earlier in this inning to the second baseman, Danny Williford. Addison Edwards in that last game also, the only way she got on base was through a walk in the 7th inning. This one a little high, and it's ball 1. As they await the pitch, Riley Dreher delivers, and it's inside, and it's ball 3 now. So Hayes High's last out was the 9th batter, Alyssa Goebel, in which it was a 2-2 count, and they got her out swinging, and now she's in the hole, and the 4th pitch is a strike looking for Addison Edwards. 3-1 in the count. Riley Dreher waiting to deliver the pitch. It's on the way, and it's A ground ball over to Williford. She gets it and makes the play at first base to retire the side. But it was a onslaught inning for the Hornets as they pick up 9 runs. So we'll see how Hayes High responds here in the bottom of the second inning when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt as we start the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Avery Soliday up to bat for the Lady Indians after that first inning where they picked up one run from Desiree Schmidt, and now it brings up Avery Soliday as the 5th batter. She'll ground it out to the 3rd baseman who throws it over to first. So that will now bring up number 7, Oakley Wickers for the Lady Indians. Seeing her first action of the season.
Now batting for the Indians.
Got a little bit of action as a freshman, is currently a sophomore this year, as the first pitch is on the way, and it's fouled over the Hayes High dugout on the left side of the field, and Oakley Wickers, batting left-handed, waits the pitch. Abasolo delivers, and it's fouled now to the Valley Center dugout in play. Wickers swung a little early that time, but now 0-2 in the count to try and do something right here to get Hayes High's offense running. There's the pitch, and it's a ground ball over to the Hayes High dugout once again. 0-2 in the count. It's 9-1 Valley Center in front. As they await they'll throw one of the softballs back into play. And Wickers with the 0-2 count against her. She'll await the pitch, and there it is, and it's in the dirt. So it's 1-2 now. As Hayes High trying to do something in this inning. They picked up 2 hits in that first inning, which was the Desiree Schmidt single and then a double by Lakin Zimmerman where she got out on the play as she tried advancing. And it's a strikeout there for Oakley Wickers. And that will bring up number 19, Elise Zimmerman.
Now batting for the Indians, number 19, Annalise
As they
Zimmerman.
try to at least put someone on base this inning. It's a grounder to the shortstop, and Elise Zimmerman can't get there in time. So it's 3 up, 3 down that inning for Hayes High. And we go into the top of the third. It's Valley Center in front, 9-1. So we'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt, we have a pitching change now for Hayes High, as coming in for the first time in her career as a pitcher is number 11, Lainey Becker, the sophomore, as she has her sleeve brought out by number 3, Jaylee Summers. She looks towards the dugout to decide what pitch to start off the inning. This one will be low and will get past the catcher once again. So as Hayes High tries to make up for the damage done last inning. It's Brele Jones up to bat right now for the Hornets, and this one low and in the dirt for ball 2. As they await the pitch. It's on the way from Becker, and it's a pretty low one, and it's going to be ball 3. So 3-0 in the count now for the Hornets. Trying to pick up right where they left off from last inning, where they went through their entire lineup and then 4 of their batters twice. This one a little high, and it's another walk for Hayes High. And that will bring up Alyssa Goebel, who struck out on her first at-bat attempt in the second inning, where she was the second out of that inning for the Hornets. In that first game, she was able to get home twice while also picking up 1 hit and also getting on base through a fielder's choice and a walk. And the first one is a strike, as Brele Jones tried to make it out like she was going to steal on first base. Pitch on the way from Becker. It's a little bit inside, but they're going to call it strike 2 as she's up in the count trying to get the first out of the inning. Oh and 2 the count as Hayes High trails 9-1 in the third inning. It's a blooper over the third baseman. Desiree Schmidt's there to get it, and it'll be marked as a hit. And Alyssa Goebel will advance to first base and Brele Jones to second. So that'll bring us back to the top of the order. It's Avery Davison for the Hornets. 1 for 2 on at-bats today, where she flied out to center field on the very first at-bat of the game, and then after that would pick up a single and eventually get home to make the score 5-1 Valley Center. And she'll try to do something right here. The pitch is on the way and a little bit outside for ball 2. As she awaits it. Becker looking at her sleeve to decide what pitch she's going to throw. It's on the way, and it's going to be called a strike as it was a little low, but just able to get in there. So 2-1 the count now, 9-1 the score. Runners at second and first. It's Brele Jones and Alyssa Goebel. The pitch is on the way, and it's a little low, and it's 3-1 in the count now for Davison, trying to get on base for the second time tonight. Three and 1 the count. Lainey Becker, the pitch on the way, and it's low, and it's going to be ball 3, and that's going to load up the bases. So that'll send Brele Jones to third, Alyssa Goebel to second, and Avery Davison gets on a walk. And now going up to the plate is number 4, Abria Perry, the center fielder, and the all Arkansas Valley Chisholm Trail League selection. A little low. It'll be ball 1 as she tries to put it in or get the runners home. She awaits the pitch. It's on the way, and it's high and inside for ball 2. her first two at-bats. The first one in the second inning was the line drive caught by Riley Dreher, and then the second inning she walked and would get home on a home run, and it's a Desiree Schmidt made a diving play and almost got the out on Alyssa Goebel, but everyone will stay in place as Desiree's play will save Hayes High from giving up another run. So Brea Perry gets on a fielder's choice, and Morgan Thatcher will return back, the one who hit that final home run of that second inning. And this one is a fly ball into right field, and it hits the ground, and the right fielder unable to make the catch, and that's going to get some runs home. Jones is in, Goebel's in, and advancing to third is Davison, and Perry. So that'll be listed as a double for the Hornets as they're up 11-1. And now up is number 19, Alyssa Crumless is still injured, so it's Kaylee Michaud in place of Alyssa Crumless, who is injured while at third base. The trainer for Hayes High came out and then walked her over to the Valley Center dugout. And this one is just outside for ball two. It's 2-1 in the count now. 11-1, Valley Center in front in the third inning, one out, which was the diving play by Desiree Schmidt to get Avery Davison out. Pitch is on the way, and a little bit high for ball three, as Kaylee Abasolo will be the next one up to bat. It's currently Kaylee Michaud. She waits the pitch. It's on the way, and it is a swing and a miss for the second strike, and that'll give it a full count with one out. Again, the Hornets have two runners in scoring position. They're up by 10. And Becker waits to deliver the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a pop fly over into foul territory, and there were three Lady Indians running after it to get it, but it fell to the ground before they could reach it in foul territory, and that'll keep the count at 3-2. Becker is ready, so is Michaud. 3-2 on the way, and I think she was hit by a pitch there, so she gets on base and the runners can't advance as the ball actually got away from the catcher, Lakin Zimmerman. And that will bring up number 12, Kaylee Abasolo. 2 for 2 so far today. Had a 1 for 1 where she had the home run in the second inning to give Valley Center their first lead, as her first one is a ball, and then she walked in that second inning as well, where she would eventually score and give the Hornets a 9-1 lead. So the pitch on the way from Becker, it's in the dirt, and it's ball 2. 2-0 the count, one out. Valley Center leads 11-1 here in the top of the third inning. Becker delivers, and it's a ground ball, and it's going to be an out Morgan Thatcher will be out for interfering with the play. She ran into Desiree Schmidt as the ball rolled over to her. Brea Perry will get home, and Abasolo advances to first, which will also put Michaud at second. So now that'll bring up number 5, Shaylin Boone, the third baseman. There's the pitch, and it's in the dirt for ball 1. Runners at second and first right now for Valley Center. It's Kaylee Michaud at second and Kaylee Abasolo at first, as this one is a short chopper to the pitcher. They'll try to make the play, and it's an error as Shaylin Boone will get there. And Kaylee Michaud will get home and make it 13-1 Hornets. So they'll call time for Hayes High. Boone did advance to second on that last play, and Abasolo's now at third as Hayes High's talking things over. That'll bring up the final full rotation for the Hornets as they started this inning with Breelay Jones, the 8th batter, and now up is the 7th batter, Addison Edwards. Has gotten out 2 times tonight in the same exact way where she grounded to the second baseman and got out at first.
Now batting for the Hornets.
2 outs right now. Abasolo once again at third, Boone at second as she advanced on the error. And this one is a hard ground ball over to Desiree Schmidt, and she makes the play to retire the side as the Hornets go up 13-1 after getting 4 runs in that inning off of 2 hits, and they leave 2 on base. So we'll have Hayes High's part of the 3rd inning when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt as Hayes High will now bat for the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's number 24, Lauren Klein, seeing her first action of the season. Had .125 on-base percentage from last season, and her first hit is a bunt, and it's going to be called a foul ball as it hit the line. So it's 1-1 in the count now. Klein still going up against the pitcher for the Hornets, number 12, Kaylee Abasolo. And it's in the dirt for ball 2. As Hayes High's looking for their first run since that first inning when Desiree Schmidt got home on a Lakin Zimmerman double. And this one's also in the dirt as well. It's 3-1 now in the count for the Lady Indians as they're trying to get someone on base after they went 3 up, 3 down in that 2nd inning. 3-1 the count for Lauren Klein. Pitch on the way, and it is high and outside, and she'll walk for the first player to get on base this inning and the first one since the first inning. So that'll bring up number 3, Jaylee Summers, for the first time tonight. As she waits the pitch. Abasolo delivers, and it's high and outside for ball 1. Klein stays at first base, and Summers will await the pitch. And it is another high one, almost got over the head, and Lauren Klein just gets back as she tried. I think she thought the ball might have gotten past the catcher, and then she had to run back, but she's able to get back safely. 2-0 the count as the pitch is on the way. It's a chopper to the pitcher, and this has a chance for a double play as Klein's out, but on a fielder's choice, Jaylee Summers will be safe. And that will now bring up the top of the order as Desiree Schmidt will come up to bat after getting a single in her first at-bat at the start of the game for Hayes High. She awaits the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a line drive foul down the right field line near the Valley Center bullpen. as Desiree Schmidt, the Dodge City Community College signee and two-time All-State honorable mention, gets set. It'll be a pop fly over as the second baseman's there to make the play, and it's the second out of the inning. So Hayes High got Lauren Klein on a walk, and then she got out on a fielder's choice. So Jaylee Summers is at first base, and Danny Williford will go up to bat after she got out in that first inning, grounding it out to the pitcher, and the first one is a strike. She'll await the pitch. Abasolo will throw it in the dirt as Jaylee Summers will pick off a little bit and then return back to first base. 1-1 the count for Williford. The pitch on the way is a foul ball right behind home plate, and it's 1-2 in the count. 2 outs so far for the Lady Indians. Williford trying to get her first hit of the game. Sticks the bat out like she's going to bunt it, pulls it back, and now the pitch on the way will be fouled down the first base line. So we'll stay 1-2 here in the third inning. And she'll do the same thing as she did after the last pitch, where she makes it like she's going to bunt, and this one will be low, and it'll be 2-2 now for the count. Williford in just her second game of her Hayes High Lady Indian softball varsity career. It'll be another foul ball as she pops it up back behind home plate. We'll stay 2-2 in the count with 2 outs. Summers still at first base as she advanced on the fielder's choice, where Lauren Klein tried to advance to second base. Williford awaits the pitch. It's on the way, and it's a line drive into left field, and it will go over the head of the left fielder, Alyssa Goebel. This could bring in some runs for Hayes High, but Summers, or correction, in her place, it's Laney Beckard. So that will give Williford a double for this one. And now we'll bring up the third baseman, Riley Dreher, who was the pitcher just a little bit ago. She had a fly out to the left fielder in the first inning, and now she'll ground it over to the shortstop, and that'll end the inning. And Hayes High will come up empty-handed after getting Lauren Klein on base through a walk, and then Laney Becker through a fielder's choice, and then after that it would lead to no runs. So we'll go in the top of the fourth inning. It's Valley Center 13, Hayes High 1. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bigel Schmidt as we start the top of the fourth inning with leading off for Valley Center's the right fielder, number 9, Breely Jones. So far in this game, she's gotten on twice, with one being a double where she would eventually score going up 4-1, and then she walked in the third inning to eventually score and make it 10-1 as it's a fly ball over to the second baseman, Danny Williford, for the first out of this inning. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Alyssa Goebel. Got her first hit of the afternoon in the last inning, where she would eventually score, making it 11-1. Struck out on her first at bat in that second inning. After it was 2-2, and she struck out there. And this first one is in the dirt for ball 1. Goebel awaits the pitch. We'll remind you it's Riley Dreher at the mound once again for Hayes High. As they await the pitch, it's down in the dirt for ball 1. Now Dreher's set, so is Goebel. Pitch on the way is a hard ground ball over down the right field, or down the first base line, but it'll be in foul territory for the first strike of the at-bat. 2-1 the count, 1 out, and the Hornets lead 13-1. As Riley Dreher gets set to deliver the pitch. It's on the way, and it is a ground ball over to Avery Soliday, who's right there to get it, and that will be the second out of the inning. So that will return the Hornets to the top of their lineup, where we'll see the shortstop, Avery Davison, who so far has gone 1 for 2, where she flied out at the start of the game, singled in the second inning, and then the third inning got walked, and then eventually would get out at second on a fielder's choice, which was the diving play by Desiree Schmidt. Davison 0-1 in the count right now. Second pitch on the way is fouled, and that's going to be 0-2 now for the Hornets. It's 13-1 in the fourth inning, 0-2 with 2 outs as Hayes High looking to go 3 up, 3 down for the first time since the first inning. Davison's ready, so is Dreher. Pitch on the way is a line down the right field line, and the catch is made by the right fielder, Haley Reese, and that will be the third out of the inning and retire the side. So the Hornets go 3 up, 3 down, and we'll see how Hayes High responds here in the fourth inning when we come back. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bigel Schmidt as we get set to start the fourth inning with Lakin Zimmerman leading it off for the Lady Indians. And first pitch on the way is low and in the dirt for ball 1. Hayes High needs at least 1 run this inning or else it's over, because the Acacia rules, if you're up by 12 after 4 innings, they call it mercy rule. So the second pitch is going to be a line drive to the center fielder, and making the catch is number 4, Abrea Perry, with a slide. She gets the first out of the inning, so that will now bring up Avery Soliday, as her first at-bat went to the third, was a ground ball to the third baseman, where she would eventually get out in a 3 up, 3 down second inning. And Soliday will Try to keep Hayes High's hopes alive right here. As the pitch is on the way, it's in the dirt. Gets past the catcher, but no one was on base, so 1-0 in the count right now. As they get set, the catcher, number 10, Morgan Thatcher. The pitch is on the way, and it is a fly ball to left field, and it will drop over the shortstop, number 13, Avery Davison. They'll mark it as a hit because she had to back up and reach over her shoulder to make the attempt. So that will bring up number 7, the designated player, Oakley Wickers, as she gets set to try to get Soliday home and keep the game alive for Hayes High. First pitch on the way is a little bit outside for ball 1. Wickers struck out looking on her first at bat in the second inning. As she waits for the pitch from Abasolo, it's on the way, and it's a foul ball back this way. And it's 1-1 in the count now. Wickers in her second season with varsity will try to keep it going. It's outside for ball 2. It's 2-1 in the count. 1 out. Avery Soliday's on first base after that single where she was able to drop it over the shortstop. Pitch is on the way, and it's outside, ball 3. And she's trying to get on base, which would move Avery Soliday into scoring position at second base. 3-1 the count. The pitch on the way is a ground ball to the first baseman where she lost it but was able to get it back. And that will be the second out of the inning and bring up Elise Zimmerman as Avery Soliday advances to second base. So unless Hayes High can score here, it's over because of the 12 after 4 run rule. Elise Zimmerman on her first at bat was a ground ball to the shortstop, and she fouls this one to start. 0-1 the count. So Elise will get set. Abasolo will step off the bag or step off the mound for a second. As a ball went a baseball from. I assume there's people playing catch on that right field line. It went over the fence and into the field of play, so they're able to resume. And this one's a ball, so it's 1-1 now for Elise Zimmerman. As she gets set, trying to keep Hayes High's hopes alive. This one is a chopper over to the shortstop as she throws it over. It'll be an out at first base, so it's 13-1. If I'm remembering correctly, the rule is 12 after 4. But the players are taking the field, so we'll see what happens after this. So we'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle Schmidt as we get set to start the top of the 5th inning with Abria Perry leading off for the Hornets, as she has gotten on base 2 times in this one. Her first one is low and outside for ball 1. She had that line drive to the third baseman in the first inning, and since then has walked and gotten on through a fielder's choice where she would eventually score on those 2 at-bats. And it's another ball, so 2-0 now for Abrea Perry. As she awaits the pitch, it's on the way. And another one outside for ball 3. So as they await the pitch, Riley Dreher will deliver, and it'll be a strike. So 3-1 now for Abrea Perry. As Riley Dreher will deliver, the pitch is on the way. It will go outside, and for the second time tonight, in this game, Abrea Perry will walk. And that will now bring up the second baseman, Morgan Thatcher.
Now batting for Valley
So
Center,
far, she's had
Morgan Thatcher.
a home run and a double where on that double, she would get out at second base where Hayes High would make a play on basically a fielder's choice, as the first pitch right there goes for a ball. Riley Dreher will deliver the pitch, and it's fouled back behind home plate. Thatcher makes the count 1-1. So Dreher will get set to deliver the pitch. She looks at her sleeve, deciding what she's going to throw. The pitch is on the way, and it is a fly ball into the gap in center field and right field, and making a running catch is number 1, Haley Reese, able to run it down, and that'll be the first out of the 5th inning. So that'll bring up number 6, Kaylee Michaud, still in place of the injured Alyssa Crumless. And as she gets set, Dreher will deliver the pitch. It's on the way, and it will be low for ball 1. Showed in that, aside from what she's done so far in this game, had 2 singles in that first game, and she checks her swing, and the refs or umps say that she goes 1-1 the count. So Dreher will deliver the pitch. It's on the way, 1-1 the count, and it's outside for ball 2. Two and one the count, 1 out. Dreher will deliver, and it's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Trying to get the second out of the inning, and the second strikeout, possibly the second strikeout for any Hayes High pitcher tonight. As Dreher will deliver the pitch, it's a swing and a miss, and they're going to try to steal the base, and Abrea Perry will get there safely. But Michaud will strike out, swinging for her at bat here in the 5th inning, and that will bring up the pitcher, number 12, Kaylee Abasolo. She's gotten on base 3 times so far tonight, including a home run that she had on her first at bat in the 2nd inning, where she would eventually walk in the 2nd as well. As the Hornets have a 13-1 lead here in the top of the 5th. This one right down the middle for strike 1. As Dreher gets set to deliver, it's 0-1 the count. 2 outs. Pitch on the way is a pop fly ball here in the infield, as Desiree Schmidt will come over and make the play, and that will retire the side. So the Hornets leave 1 player on base while not getting a hit or Hayes High an error. And we'll go into the bottom of the 5th inning with Hayes High trailing Valley Center 13-1. So we'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickel Schmidt as we get set to start the bottom of the 5th inning with Hayes High trailing Valley Center by a score of 13-1. It'll bring up number 24, Lauren Klein. Got on the first time through a 3-1 walk in to start off the 3rd inning. So she'll be leading off in the 5th inning as well. It's 1-0 the count right now. And this one she will be called for a strike as she made an attempt to try to bunt it. So she'll try to do something right here. Hayes High needing some runs to stay alive. And this one will be down the middle for strike 2. So 1-2 the count now for Lauren Klein. As Abasola gets ready to deliver the pitch, it's on the way, and this will be outside for ball 2. Keeping Hayes High's hopes alive. 2-2 the count. Abasola looking for her first strikeout of the night, possibly right here, and it's a hard ground ball right back to her, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So that will now bring up number 3 for the Indians, Jaylee Summers. Lainey Becker was also up to bat just a second ago as she got onto a fielder's choice and eventually would move to third base, but now Summers will get her first attempt at the plate tonight. As the pitch is on the way, it is called a strike, and it's 0-1 the count now to start it off. So 0-1 the count right now for the for the Lady Indians, and this one will be in the dirt for ball 1. As Jaylee Summers tries to keep Hayes High's chances of extending this game alive. The pitch is on the way, and it is in there for strike 2. Up next for Hayes High will be number 28, Desiree Schmidt, the shortstop, as she is on deck. The pitch on the way from Abasolo. It's a swing and a miss, and it's her it's her second strikeout of the night. First one swinging. And that'll bring up Desiree Schmidt. One for 2 on her at-bats tonight. Got a single in the first inning and then a fly out to the second baseman in the 3rd inning, and that will be the ball game as she just grounded it to the shortstop, and that's going to do it as Hayes High will fall in the second game of our doubleheader tonight to the Valley Center Hornets 13-1. We'll have our post-game show when we come back where we will look back at how each team got their runs and look at some individual and team numbers as well. So we'll be back in a moment. This is Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. Back here at Bickle-Schmidt on the postgame show as the Lady Indians fall in the second half of the doubleheader to Valley Center by a score of 13-1. We'll start off our postgame show by recapping the scoring in that game. So Valley Center would start off with a 3-up, 3-down, which included 2 fly balls and the third out was a grounder to the pitcher. Hayes High would follow with a run from Desiree Schmidt after she singled, and Danny Williford hit a ground ball, and Lakin Zimmerman a double that was the one that brought Schmidt in. But that would start an onslaught for the Valley Center Hornets as they would Alyssa Crumless would walk, and then a home run would be hit by Kaylee Abasolo to give Valley Center their first lead at 2-1. Followed by that, they'd get a walk from Shaylin Boone and a double from Brele Jones, which is in between 2 outs by the Lady Indians. Avery Davison would hit a single, Brea Perry would walk, and Morgan Thatcher would have the next home run of that inning. And they'd go back to the start of where they started that inning, where they would have Alyssa Crumless hit a double where she would eventually score and make the score 8-1 in favor of the Hornets. And Abasolo would walk to give them a 9-1 lead after a double from Shaylin Boone. And the inning would finally come to an end with Addison Edwards grounding out to the second baseman. And for Hayes High, they would go 3-up, 3-down. And in the third inning, they would also they would get a walk from Lauren Klein and then a hit from Lainey Becker, but they were unable to come up with any runs that inning. So as we went to the third inning for Valley Center, they'd go through their entire lineup where they would go up 12-1 with Abrea Perry scoring, and after that it would follow with Kaylee Michaud, who came in for Crumless after she got injured. She would get hit by a pitch and would eventually score, making it 13-1 after Abasolo would get to third on her at-bat, and Shaylin Boone had an error. And the inning would end with a grounder to the shortstop, and the Hornets would go 3-up, 3-down in the fourth inning. And finally in the fifth inning, they would get a walk and by Abrea Perry and leave her on base. So at the end of the fifth inning, they had put up 13 runs. And for Hayes High in the fifth inning, it was just 3-up, 3-down, starting with Lauren Klein grounding out to the pitcher, Jaylee Summers striking out, and Desiree Schmidt grounding out to the shortstop. And the Valley Center Hornets emerging victorious by a score of 13-1. And now we'll look over at our individual and team numbers, starting with Hayes High. Desiree Schmidt picked up a run and a hit, and Danny Williford had a hit as well. Lakin Zimmerman would finish with a hit and Hayes High's only RBI. Avery Soliday had a hit of her own, and Hayes High would finish with 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 RBI. And looking over at Valley Center, Avery Davison would have 2 runs, a hit, and a RBI. Abrea Perry would score as well, and Morgan Thatcher led the Hornets in RBIs with 4 while also getting 2 hits and scoring once. And Alyssa Crumless would finish with a run and a hit, and Kaylee Michaud had 2 runs as well. And then Kaylee Abasolo had 2 runs, 2 hits, and 3 RBIs. Shaylin Boone would finish the night with a run, a hit, and 2 RBIs. And Brele Jones had 2 runs, 1 hit, and an RBI. And then Alyssa Goebel had 1 run and 1 hit. And overall, as a team, they had 13 runs, 9 hits, and 9 RBIs. So finally, the last thing we'll take a look at is the winning and losing pitcher for tonight's game, starting with the winner, which is Kaylee Abasolo for the Valley Center Hornets. After pitching 5 innings, she only gave up 4 hits, 1 run, which was earned, and a walk, and had 2 strikeouts while only throwing 51 pitches. Hayes Highs will go to number 3, Jaylee Summers, the starter. After pitching just 1.2 innings, she gave up 5 hits and 9 earned runs, and walked 4 batters and just struck out 1 while throwing 49 pitches. Riley Dreher gave up a hit, a walk, and a strikeout and threw 32 pitches, and Lainey Becker only pitched 1 inning but had a hit, but gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, and 2 walks while throwing 29 pitches. So that'll do it for tonight's broadcast. Again, Hayes High falls in a doubleheader where they lost the first game 11-5 and lose the second one by a score of 13-1. So looking up ahead for the Lady Indians, they will be back at it on Tuesday here in Hayes, where they will face the Dodge City Red Demons on Tuesday, April 2nd, and then we'll go on the road to face Dodge City again on Thursday. So that'll wrap up tonight's broadcast. We want to thank you for listening. I'm Hank Corsair. This has been Hayes High Softball on the Tribe Broadcasting Network. We'll see you all next time.